Welcome to Amity Chats.
What's up?
Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome, welcome.
Well, what's been up?
Not much with me, quite honestly. I have been mostly working and sort of just existing at the house. I haven't really gone anywhere exciting. It's Mardi Gras, which I could care less about, to be quite honest. So I just avoid the crowds and stay home. I've been on call for work this past week, so I've really just kind of been laying low. What about you guys?
Well, it is currently Mardi Gras in South Louisiana. Have you done any Mardi Gras?
Not I.
Nope.
Yeah, no, me either.
I've only driven through a parade route and been disgusted by the amount of trash that people left behind. Truly pathetic.
Yes. So I was told about this Mardi Gras route that we drove by. We didn't miss anything at all. But it sure does seem like everyone missed a bunch of beads because there were so many beads on the ground. I asked Lau, I was like, is the goal to not catch beads? Because that's what it seems like.
Yeah, it's a mess. So what else have you been up to?
Okay, well, I do have a few things. Would you like to go first, Lau?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I went to a girls trip a couple of weekends ago to Hot Springs, Arkansas. I have never been before. I didn't know what it was going to be about. And um, I went with a really old friend of mine. We were best friends when we were little, and we always pick up where we left off.
Just to be clear, she's not really old. You've just known her a long time.
Right. Since I was like 6. Her name is Casey.
Hey, Casey.
Yeah. And then there was a friend of ours that she knew through college, and then she's become my friend since Casey has gotten married, and we had to do all the bachelorette party stuff together. Her name is Oceana. I call her Ocean,
Hi, Ocean.
and Casey calls her Face. I asked why they call each other that, and I still don't feel like I have a clear answer.
Okay.
Anyway, we all went to Hot Springs. We met Ocean there. And we were driving up. Now, I knew that we had like this cute house, and it was old, kind of looked like a tea house sort of thing. But as we're driving off, I see these 3 houses. One's yellow, one's blue, one's pink, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, look, it's the Painted Ladies." Like, just joking, they have those ones, I think, in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they actually do call these the Painted Ladies, and the yellow one was the one we were staying in.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was like, "Oh, well, this is cool." We walked in. There was so much stuff everywhere. Y'all saw the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get an Instagram page up for us because I could post some pictures.
Oh, yeah, we need to do that.
So many old things. Well, no way this house wasn't haunted. Number 1,
Looked haunted to me.
yeah, there were so many, like, just antique things. The furniture was old, the lamps were old, there was old cameras, old record players, old phones. There was old makeup mirrors and brushes and clothes.
Old guests.
Oh, yeah. And then, there was a house cat. We had to take care of a house cat, and her name was Miss Leo, and she was the most affectionate cat ever, and I'm pretty sure it may have been the woman that owned this house once before.
I'm getting some Hocus Pocus vibes from that cat.
Yeah. I can't forget to mention that there was, burned sage everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
That's the craziest part to me. Well, the
yeah. The what?
coffin.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention there was, like, a coffin on the side of the house as, like, a decoration. Like, standing up like a vampire would have it. Anyway, so there was some spooky things happening in the house. First of all, my friend Casey said that mirrors are portals for the spirits. I don't know how true that is. I didn't look it up, but she was convincing enough. I believed it. The room
Mhm.
I was supposed to sleep in had mirrors facing each other, and we covered one. Well, she says I asked her to take it off later on, but before I forget, when we covered it, the noise in the room changed. I kid you not.
Mm-mm.
And later on, we go back in there, I was like, "Why the fricking portal cover down?" Because the blanket was off of the mirror. I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh my god," and then Miss Leo, the cat, jumped out from under the bed, and I have never in my life gotten scared so bad that I pissed myself, but I did that in that moment. That actually
Oh,
happened.
oh my gosh.
And so the next day, I'm not gonna tell y'all about the whole trip, but the next day I found a book that was written called The Painted Ladies, a
Mm-mm.
Sidra Smart mystery by Sylvia Dickey Smith. I'm gonna read you the back. I made sure I had the back written down somewhere so that I could share what the back says and solidified our thoughts that this house was definitely haunted. Are you guys ready?
Let's hear it.
Old houses. Do they celebrate happy times with us? Do they hurt when we hurt? Or do they have their own stories to whisper in the night, their own dark secrets to hide? In the fifth book in this award winning Sidra Smart mystery series, slightly psychic private investigator Sidra Smart has a new female client who has inherited not one, but three mysterious Victorian houses in Hot Springs, Arkansas. The
Mm-mm.
moment Sidra walks into the Painted Ladies, she senses something is off kilter. As autumn transforms to winter, Sidra needs to protect her client, young Belle Anderson, from being drawn too deeply into a tangled web of odd stories, spectral visitors,
Uh-uh.
unsettling mysteries, and possible evil deeds committed. As the snow falls, the two women, with their faithful sidekicks, dogs Slider and Jenkins, must try to get to the bottom of what lies beneath the facade of the beautiful painted Victorians.
Check, please. I'm out.
And then I had the nerve to sleep in that house again that night.
Oh
Anyway,
my
the rest
goodness.
of Hot Springs, we went on a mountain, we went in a tower. It was cool. It was beautiful. We did a little bathhouse. We ate a bunch of expensive food. We shopped, had
Nice.
fun. I've been crocheting. I'm a third of the way through your blanket, Mr. Toby.
Nice.
Currently reading a book that I'm almost done with called The Duke and I. It's the first in the series, the Bridgerton series, because I'm a
Hmm.
little bit obsessed with that series on Netflix. So I decided to read the books to try and get back and reading again. Um, been planning baby girl's birthday party, which is this weekend.
Can't wait.
Wish me luck. And finally, tonight, we took our kids to Dave and Buster's.
Oh, how fun.
And here's my review.
Okay.
First of all, they didn't seem to have the eat and play deal.
Oh, huh.
So here's my suggestion.
You know, it's probably just as well because I hear when you buy that, they get you for at least an hour and a half before you can even play.
Okay. I will let Lyle go into more details about this, but all I'm going to say is maybe don't eat, but go play. Apparently, there is an issue worldwide with Dave and Buster's restaurants.
Worldwide, worldwide.
Tell me it didn't happen.
Oh, it was close. It was very
Oh,
similar.
no.
It was not as annoying as our first experience was. And maybe we should just touch a little bit. I'll let you, Toby, just give a quick rundown of what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Um,
So just real quick, we took a trip to Texas, me and Lyle and Aaron and their kids. This was before Claire came along, and we took them to Dave and Buster's. We were gonna eat. We took advantage of their little eat and play. You pay a flat price or whatever, and you get a meal, and you get some cards to go play in the arcade. And it took, not kidding you guys, it took almost 2 hours just for us to pay the freaking bill. The food was subpar. We talked to probably what, at least three different people, two or three different people. This poor girl, it was like her first night there. She didn't know what was going on. It was like none of them had ever heard of the eat and play deal and what we were supposed to be getting with that. A manager came over and could barely resolve the problem.
well, yes, but I want to add before you say the manager came over, we asked for the manager to come over, and the waitress told us I asked him to come over. He said he doesn't want to come over.
True. Yeah, it was definitely not blaming this girl because, like I said, she was new and she was trying to get some help, and they just refused. They were swamped, I guess, but it was a terrible experience. And by the time we had eaten and paid that bill and were ready to play, the kids were already tired, and it was just. And I remember it being hot in there.
In fact, we just finished the cards that we bought at that restaurant
Hmm.
tonight.
Mhm.
Wow. So anyway, that's what we're talking about when police say it didn't happen again. So what happened?
Well, it wasn't like that exactly. They didn't have the eat and play stuff. I looked it up, and it doesn't appear to have existed for at least 2 years. But it was just. It appeared that there was somewhere between 6 to 8 wait staff, so there's plenty of people for the tables. However, probably about one person in the kitchen, maybe two.
Oh no.
Like, we sat down, we ordered our drinks and a bowl of rice for Claire to eat, and then she left and she came back with the drinks, and then I believe we put our orders in pretty much right away. Then our friends ordered their food and food for their 2 kids. Then we ordered our food and our food for our 2 kids.
Like literally at the same time she was there. Like she
Oh,
didn't leave and
wow.
come back.
They ordered their food, we ordered our food. And then maybe 20 minutes later, they brought out their 2 kids' food, and that was it. Still no rice bowl, the first thing we ordered. And then, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 more minutes, they brought out their food, like the 2 parents' food,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. And then maybe another 10 minutes, maybe not quite 10 minutes, but they brought out our kids' food. Then probably 15 to 20 minutes after that, they brought out my side salad. Apologize for the delay.
This is 40 minutes later, according to my calculations.
Yeah.
Minimum. Still don't have the rice we ordered with the drinks.
Oh my gosh.
And then I think we got the rice like right before we got our food, pretty much. It was after my salad for sure. We finally got the rice bowl, which was literally, it was plain jasmine rice with like a little bit of chives on top. That's it. And so we finally got our food and then just ate as quickly as humanly possible. We still beat one of their kids to finish eating. Simon didn't eat all of his food either, but yeah, so it was a long time waiting on food. And then we finally were able to go play.
And actually we didn't complain at all
Mm.
because we were visiting, so whatever. And I didn't look at my phone, so I had no idea what time it was. But she came to me and she like whispered to me, she's like, I got my manager to give you 50% off on your bill because
Oh,
this is
wow.
ridiculous how long it took.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
So listen, Dave and Buster's, if you want to sponsor us, we're all about it. But you guys got to do better. You got to do better.
Mm-hmm.
With your restaurant, you got y'all games. Y'all have y'all game stuff and your bar stuff like figured out. But the restaurant, it's always lacking. If you're gonna take forever, you have to have excellent food.
For real.
If you're gonna have mediocre food, you have to be fast. You cannot be both slow and mediocre.
So that was the first time you guys go to that location, right?
Yep.
Correct. And from here on out, for the rest of our lives, as long as that Dave and Buster's is open, we will be going eat somewhere else and then go play games.
Absolutely.
Unless they bring back the eat and play.
Yeah.
Where you just can't not do it.
Right. Because it really is worth it.
I would rather go to Small Sliders
Oh gosh.
than wait that long for Dave and Buster's. And I believe
Wow.
that Small Sliders is the peak of mediocrity.
So that tells me you really feel some kind of way about their food situation.
Like, their food is fine, but like Small's food is also fine, and it's half the price, and I don't have to wait for an hour and a half to get it.
That's exactly what I'll say about Brenda.
Oh my gosh.
Brenda. All right. Cool. Well, Lyall, what else have you been up to?
All right, so first, I didn't know what I did 2 weekends ago because I Could not remember. And what it was take care of all 3 children by myself while she was off on that girls trip,
Right.
which was fine. Let's
Oh,
see.
yeah, nice cover.
No, for real. So
No, Lyle becomes super dad when I'm gone. It's the weirdest thing. It's not that he's a bad dad while
whoa, what the fuck?
I mean,
No,
dang.
no, listen,
Here
I'm
comes the
saying
bus. Move, Lyle.
it's not that he's a bad dad or anything at all while I'm here. It's just that
It's that he's a very good dad. He's just a better dad when you're away
yeah,
because he has more stuff to do.
like I would never if you leave town for a weekend, my ass is not getting dressed. I'm not dressing the kids. We ain't getting a car and going nowhere. And you're over here going shopping around all over the city.
Yeah, so we didn't do that this time. Last time we did. Last time we went to Target, we went to GameStop.
With 3 children.
Yeah. We had a weenie roast. We watched a movie, we did all kinds of stuff. This time I planned to go to visit at my dad's house, but it didn't rain all day, so didn't really serve a purpose. However, what I did do is you left in the morning, right?
Oh yeah, we left at like 7:30.
Yeah, so she left in the morning. So my mom was here watching the kids during the day while I was working. And in the afternoon, I knocked off of work, going downstairs. I'm like, okay, you can go. And so she left and went home. She's like, you don't want me to stay and help? I was like, no, it's fine. And I did some laundry. I got the kids fed. I got the kids bathed. We watched TV. Then I put the baby to sleep. Then I put the younger boy in the office here with me playing his Switch. And then the older boy and I streamed for 2 hours or so, however long we normally stream. And then I sent them off to bed, made them go brush their teeth. And then I continued streaming. And then when I finished, I shipped off the raid. I went to bed. And then we woke up in the morning and we just hung out all day because it was pouring rain. So we just hung out and napped and watched TV and stuff. We didn't go anywhere or anything. I wanted to go to the library. None of that. But anyway, so yeah, we just had a cool little chill weekend.
For those of you who don't know, by the way, when Lyall says he streams, it means he plays video games online. I realize some of you listening might not know what stream means.
Oh, yeah. So there's a website called twitch.tv. You could also stream on YouTube.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, twitch.tv/Spiegel22.
There you
can
go.
go find me out there. I stream on Tuesdays and Fridays. And on Fridays, Oliver, our older son, joins me and we play co-op games together. And so that's some of what happened. So he and I mentioned last time we had beaten the game we had been playing for a long time. So we started our new game, which is called River City Ransom, an old regular Nintendo game, which he likes quite a bit. It's pretty simple, but we are making our way through it. Hopefully we'll beat it this week, but if not, next week for sure. And then in addition, I started a game called Mother 3, which you may or may not have heard of the game called Earthbound, which was on the Super Nintendo. It is one of my favorite games ever. It's so wholesome and cute and adorable, and I love it. But we never got, it's the second game in a 3-game series. We never got the first or third games in America. So there was a fan translation made of the third game quite a long time ago now. And that is what I'm currently playing. So it's translated into English pretty faithfully to the original Japanese, but obviously adapted for localization issues of somewhat. But it's so good so far. Like, I'm just barely getting into it, and it is really good. It's very sad. The music is amazing. It's pretty fun. So all good. And then this past weekend, we went to our niece's birthday party. She is the same age as Oliver. Just turned 8. And that was a fun time. We got to visit with the family, and the kids got to play.
Oh, she's our cousin.
Yeah, she's my cousin's daughter, so she's not technically my niece, but my family, like, that's just how it is. If you're like a really good friend, then your aunts and uncles and nieces and nephews and stuff like that. And so cousins' kids are also nieces and nephews. Like, just is what it is. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, good family time.
Yeah. On the way home, we stopped to shop for birthday presents for Claire because her birthday is coming up. And I was like, are we going to go shopping with Claire? To which Erin promptly made fun of me as if she would remember or know what was going on at all since she's turning 1.
That girl's smart. You better
I
watch.
said, you wait and see. We're gonna unwrap the present. She's gonna be like, oh wow, I've seen this already.
Yeah, she's gonna be like, bitch, please. I saw this in the basket.
She's gonna say, bah, bah, bah.
And then stand up and start twerking.
Yes.
Return this. I done told you assholes I didn't like it then.
So that's what I've been up to. However, I have a couple other things I wanted to mention real quickly.
Okay.
First of all, I had a YouTube video on today, and an ad started playing. I have two actually things from my YouTube ads today. First of all, did you know there's a new Twister movie coming out?
No.
I want to say I heard this last year.
It's called
But-
Twisters.
Twisters, yeah. They look good. I want to watch it.
That's the thing. And in addition, another ad. I'm not sure what this ad was even for. I was waiting to skip it because, it was too long for me to sit through. And the lady in the ad mentioned that her grandparents had 17 children and she had 108 cousins.
Oh,
Holy moly, that woman's poor vagina.
To which I was like, oh my God, I got to write this down for the podcast. I assume it was for financial planning or something like that. I'm not really positive what it was about, but it was definitely caught my attention.
I mean, I hope for her sake some of them was adopted. Good God.
And then my final thing I wanted to mention is we have been talking about ways we're going to reorganize our house and move stuff around and just redo things in general. And one thing that we're looking into doing is we have a bunch of board games and we like to play board games, as we've talked about before. However, we bought an armoire for our board games a long time ago because we thought it would be cool, it would look nice in the living room, and it would hold all of our games. Well, we've outgrown it. We have spilled out of the armoire. We have way too many games to fit in the thing. And it takes up a lot of space in our loft. So I was thinking we would either move it or sell it and replace in that area with some sort of custom shelving system. Kind of similar to what you have going on, probably, but we're not 100% sure how we're going to do it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking at, they have some specific board game shelving, from the people who make the board game tables and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was checking those out today just to see. Now this area is about 55 inches wide, 4.5 feet wide, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
And we have 9-foot tall ceilings. So to more or less fill that area, one of the things I looked at, which is just metal side rails with some cross bars that the game sit on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even really shelves or wood or anything. So to mostly fill that area with those would cost $870. And then a different set of shelves that I've seen, which are basically like cube shelves, but you get either a wide shelf, a normal cube, so the wide shelf is like twice as wide as a normal cube, a large cube, which is basically like 4 cubes combined, or a tall shelf, which is the wide one turned on its side. And they have little peg holes all in the tops and the sides, so you can kind of piece them together and build whatever shape you want. So you don't have to buy a shelf for every layer. You can kind of leave the negative space in between the shelves as shelves.
Mm-hmm.
So to more or less fill the space with those shelves would be 5 small shelves, 3 tall shelves, 5 wide shelves, and 2 large shelves, which isn't super relevant, but what is relevant is that would cost $1,215 for basically IKEA cubes.
But you
That's
better go buy
crazy.
you some 1x6s or some 1x8s or something.
I was like, what in the actual hell
My
is going on
gosh.
here? So I went back in my emails because I built some shelves, which I will post a picture up on my Instagram, so we can put a link to that in the show notes.
Okay.
I built some shelves for the other wall in that loft for all of our books and games and movies. And now that's a large wall. That's probably about 15 feet
Mm-hmm.
by 9 feet tall. And it is fully shelved.
Yep.
And I paid probably about $640 for all the pipe and all the wood that I used for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I paid $200 less than the cheaper of the options I was looking at today to cover 4 times.
4 to 5 times the area. Yeah. Wow. I like the idea of you guys getting something else to do the games in. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% what I'm going to do. We were looking at some like cheaper like cube shelves and bookshelves and things like that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to put just like two bookshelves next to each other because that's, like I said, that's 9 feet tall. So you're just gonna have
Right.
a lot of dead space above that that's wasted. Whereas
Right.
I could put custom shelves up there, like what I did for the bookshelves, and fill the space, and it wouldn't be that expensive, and it would be less area, it wouldn't be that hard.
Hmm.
And also you can make sure because our like we have some fairly large games, so I don't want them to be sticking out of the shelves if I can help it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted to mention that absolutely asinine prices that I saw on those shelves today.
Yeah.
I was flabbergasted.
Yeah, that stuff's expensive. I mean, look at a game table in general. You buy a game table, and some of them are not that crazy. Like, they don't have that many features, and they want $1,000 for the simplest little table setup.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
But if you can't do it yourself, I guess you're willing to pay for it, or you don't have
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yours is nice. Y'all made that.
Yeah. My cousin's a bit of a woodworker, and we made that over the course of probably about 3 weeks. Took our time and did it all from scratch. And I think it cost us $300 to make that, if
Right.
that. And that was at a time when lumber was expensive. Like,
Right.
during COVID, or right around that time, lumber got real expensive. Anyway, yeah, that stuff's expensive. Well, cool. What else do we want to talk? Oh, so we all three of us have sort of been doing a little weight loss slash dietary journey. Not really New Year's resolutions per se, but just, each of us kind of doing our own thing, trying to be a little healthier. Because, some of us ain't getting no younger around these parts, and blood pressures be getting high.
Cholesterol's be getting
Cholesterol's
high.
be getting high. So
And as
trying to
I
be
have
healthier.
heard in my years of listening to podcasts, it is a whole lot easier to like clean yourself up and start exercising and get healthy now, whenever now is, than
Hmm.
5 years from now or 10 years from now, because you're just older and more broken down and it's harder to knock the weight off and to
That's true.
stretch those muscles out. So
Yeah, that's true.
the best time to start is right now.
Yeah, so that's what we're kind of doing. I guess we just want to talk a little bit about what each one of us is doing. So I downloaded this app called MyFitnessPal, and just to start logging everything I eat in a day, because you don't realize all the things that you eat. You kind of just snack here, snack there, have a meal here, and you forget about it. So when I looked back at that data after like 2 weeks of logging, I was shocked to see how much like how many calories I'm eating, and what times of the day I'm eating those things, and like how much I'm actually snacking, and when I'm doing all of that. And so it's been a very useful tool for me, I would say, just to sort of get a handle on what I'm eating and to try to make better choices about that. And so far, I would say it's paying off. Like, it's been good. I've been really mindful about things I'm eating and trying to make better decisions on the snacks that I choose to eat. So my weakness is at night. I just want to snack at night. Like, I can do fine all day long. Um, I don't really need to eat while I'm at work. I have a decent lunch. I come home, I eat supper, and it's not until like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And I want to snack, I want to eat. And I eat one little thing, and then it's like, oh, I want this little thing too, and then this little thing. And then you have a lot of little things.
Yes, it's when I get home from work, I can graze like a frickin' cow, man.
Yeah, and you just don't think about it. So anyway, that's
And
what
it
I've
would
been doing.
probably be better if I actually grazed like a cow, because 'cause it'd be like grass, right?
My goal now is to continue to focus on that, but I really got to start exercising. I just get so lazy in the evenings. I come home from work, I'm mentally exhausted from the day, and I don't want to do anything. I just want to veg out, but I got to get motivated to move more. Um, so that's my goal. Anyway, that's my little spiel. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'm been trying to be mindful of what I'm eating. Working on the Mediterranean way of eating, which is just whole grains, whole wheat, lots of fish,
More
Uh,
veggies and fruit.
yeah, more veggies and fruits and protein, fish like 3 times a week, and then poultry the rest of the time, and red meat like once or twice, basically. Really all I've been focusing on is that. I'm not doing that great because the last couple of days have been rough, but I'm getting back to it. And I totally meant to log on my Fitness Pal today and forgot.
Yeah.
So I need to figure out a way to keep track of that because it is something when you're actually physically logging it, you are more mindful, even if you are trying to be mindful.
Yep. It's true.
And like you, I have got to find an exercise that I enjoy doing and start doing it. Stop making
Yes.
excuses
Yes.
because I also need to establish some healthy habits so that my kids will also do it.
That's a good point.
Oliver is pretty mindful already of what he puts in his body. He didn't get that from either of us.
Yeah, he just kind of does that naturally.
Now, some things he'll be like, "I want cake balls."
Every single day he wants cake
Yeah,
balls.
but
When he gets home from school, he wants a snack and he wants it to be cake balls every day. And I'm like, dude, you have a tote full of like Halloween and whatever other Christmas candy. Eat some of the snacks that are in there. Like you got to alternate at some point.
Yeah.
and he's been very good about he'll say, "Mommy, I want to eat everything that you put on my plate." And so I'm trying to explain to him, like, because, we're in the habit of fussing at them if they don't eat, but it's like we're in between one kid who will eat a bite and say he's full, and another kid who is actually eating and may be full and is probably, he'll say he's full. So we try and be like, okay, he's actually full, but he's leaving food on his plate. And so it's just back and forth because they sit right next to each other every night for dinner. And that's been complicated, I would
hmm
say, to kind of get a happy medium between the two of them because one is so stubborn. The younger boy is so stubborn that he will just if you say, "If you don't eat, you're going to bed," he'll be like, "Okay, I'm going to bed." But he will not eat and make himself sick because his stomach is empty.
Yeah.
So like he'll get sick on car rides and stuff because he hasn't eaten anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Oliver is very conscious, like I was fixing him a little snack thing for his streaming. He likes me to fix him a little snack container. And I was putting some things in there, and he's like, "Now, Mom, make sure you don't just put unhealthy stuff in there. I need some fruit in there too." I'm sorry, Lyle.
For what?
Did I interrupt you? I feel like maybe I did.
No, it wasn't even my turn yet.
Oh, okay.
I just chimed in about how the boys eat because, yeah, an aside from our dietary thing is, yeah, the older one will eat and then he'll be like, oh, I left food on my plate. And we're like, it's okay. If you're full, you're full. And then the other one, like she said, will eat 1 or 2 bites and then be like, I'm full. And he just wants to go play. But then the problem is, my problem with both of them is if you're full and you didn't finish all the food on your plate, that's fine. I don't want you to overeat. But don't come talk to me in 6 minutes and tell me you want a snack because you were not full if you have
Yeah.
room for a snack. So anyway, so yeah, so we started doing the Mediterranean diet. So I have been trying my best to stick to that. Every now and then I have something that's not necessarily right on it. Like for lunch some days, especially when I was sick a couple weeks ago, I was like, I just want some ramen noodles for lunch. So I would have that for lunch. Or the kids have pizza, I'm going to have a piece of pizza. But for the most part, I would say we've just been doing better about eating vegetables and leaner meats and less junk, less chips, less crackers. I'm making sure. So it's really easy to get a bowl of salsa and some tortilla strips and just eat until all the salsa is gone. But it's also just as easy to look at the back of the bag and they say 9 chips is the serving size.
Yeah.
And you take out 9 chips and you eat that many chips and salsa, and then you put the salsa in a container in the fridge for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, I have to interrupt you there. It's always one more because the one you take out to put in your mouth as you're putting the others in your plate doesn't count. Right?
Okay, maybe, but regardless, 10 chips is better than 37 chips.
True.
So just paying attention to things like that. And I have to say that I personally feel a whole lot better. I did not weigh myself when we started this like I should have. I also have not taken any pictures yet like I want to. Not that I'm going to post them anywhere, at least not until I get real fit. Then I'm willing to post the not fit pictures once I'm actually fit. The before and afters. I just don't want to post the befores before there's an after.
You'll be like, look at these tits.
Yeah, look what I did. But I will say that the last times that I have weighed myself, I would say it was been like 218 to 224 range, which is a lot for me. And
like a lot.
Yeah, like I until probably 2020 had never been over 200 pounds in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back to working in an office in 2019. COVID happened, and you're just home all day snacking, and it's just been a slow spiral downwards from there. And also, you can fix yourself a plate of dinner, but then if your kids don't finish their plate of dinner, well, you don't want to waste that food, so then you have to finish up their scraps as well, so that adds on to your calorie count. So anyway, I weighed myself the other day and I was 214. So I'm down somewhere between 4 and 10 pounds. And I have noticed that my clothes fit a little better and don't feel quite so bloated all the time. So that's generally good, I must say. So I am having a positive experience. Like I just feel better.
Nice. That's good. Ultimately, that's the goal, is to just be healthier and feel better, whatever that means for you, right?
Me, I was doing so good. I was tinting, and man, the COVID got me. And man, guess what happened?
What had happened?
My weight got high.
That weight got so high. All right. Well, moving on. I think we're going to play a little game real quick. So this game, shout out to Suzanne, who listens to our podcasts.
What's up, girl?
I work with Suzanne. We've been working together for, oh Lord, over 10 years now, I think. Anyway, she gave me this game called The King of, and it's a signed autograph game by the hosts of the Kid Craddock in the Morning show. But it was after Kid had passed, so it's the Kelly, Big Al, JC, and Jenna at the time were the hosts, and they all signed the game. But the game is basically you pull a card out of the box, and there is a word or a category on the card, and you're supposed to go around the group, each taking one turn, saying something that matches the card, the category on the card, until there's only one person, one king of the hill, so to speak, left that could come up with something that matches the card. For example, I pulled a card out of the box just now. It says languages. So we would start, I would say English. Then Aaron would go.
Spanish.
And then Lyall would go.
French.
And we would keep going until no one could come up with another language. And the last person who comes up with one is the king of languages. And so there's no specific time, but we're going to cap. We're going to just kind of use our own judgment and cap it. So, like, if somebody's sitting there for 30 seconds to a minute and they can't come up with something, you lost. Cool? Everybody good?
Cool.
All right. The first card is computer parts.
Mouse.
Oh, I'm next. Keyboard.
Motherboard.
Monitor.
Microphone.
Fan.
Video card.
Headset.
RAM.
Hard drive.
Solid state drive.
USB port.
I really thought you were cursing him out when you said you. I thought he took your answer. Give me a second. I'm looking at my computer.
Cheater. You're good. Uh-oh, it's getting close.
Yeah, I should be out. Y'all go.
All right, Aaron's out. Lyall, to you.
Power supply.
PCI slot.
Processor.
CD-ROM drive.
Going old, huh? Floppy drive.
Wow, you just one up them.
I will say webcam.
Let's go with a capacitor.
SATA cable.
Water cooling reservoir.
Heat sink gel.
I just thought of one.
Oh yeah.
Don't
Case.
cheat.
Oh, damn. That was the one I thought of. I was like, they're gonna hate themselves for not coming up with that one.
A fingerprint reader.
Oh my god.
Lord, son.
A lot of laptops have that.
A fan filter.
LCD screen.
Is that not just a monitor?
Not if it's a laptop.
Okay. Let's see.
Way to buy some time, though.
How about an external hard drive?
Oh, I like that. I will say a printer.
Let's go with a. Oh, I don't know if that's necessarily a part of a computer. I can't really say that. Let's go with a BIOS speaker.
Ooh, good one. I'm gonna go to CMOS battery.
That was my next one on my little head cannon there.
Your BIOS speaker tipped me off.
Yeah. How about
I'm gonna take a nap.
How about
Got
an
it.
RGB controller?
Ooh. What about HDMI port?
Okay. A Cat 5 port.
A NIC card.
A crossfire jumper.
We're the worst two people to be left in
Yeah.
this game. I just want to say, so we could probably do this all night. Wait, what did you say? I'm sorry.
Crossfire jumper. That
Crossfire
is
jumper.
specifically AMD when they had a dual video card setup. That was the thing you used to link the two video cards together.
Okay, I didn't know what that was. I will say VGA port.
The power button.
Oh. I will say speakers. I don't think anybody said that.
No, I don't think so. An error code display. Like a little
Okay.
digital thing on the
Yeah.
motherboard.
Okay.
Give up.
Yeah, I'll pass. I'll give it to you.
Sweet
Good
heat
job.
sink.
Good job, Lyall. Okay.
I would have been embarrassed if I did win that.
I mean, I probably could have kept going, but this is going on way too long. All right. Next card. We'll start with me.
Okay.
Category is sea animals. Starfish.
Jellyfish.
Mollusk.
Dog.
What?
Shark.
A shark.
Oh.
Let's say since I said shark, we're not going to do the great white shark and the
Okay.
barrier reef shark and the blue whale shark. Let's just say shark's dead.
A sunfish.
Oh,
Son
God.
of a bitch. That's the worst fish.
Most useless piece of crap.
Hate that
Sea animal.
fish. Let's go with coral.
Octopus.
Whale. Did we say whale?
No.
Nope. Sea cucumber.
Eel.
I love eels.
I like eel sauce.
Squid.
Clam.
A minnow.
Minnow.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Is he an animal?
He's a sea sponge. Is that a
Okay.
plant or an animal, though? I don't actually know.
Probably animal.
What's an
I don't-
anemone? Is an
Uh,
anemone an animal or a plant?
let's
'Cause
take a
I'm
quick Google. Sea sponge, animal or plant? They are considered animals. So good job, Aaron. And then anemone, um, an animal.
okay.
So that's yours. Clownfish. While we're on anemone, hashtag Nemo.
I mean, well, with that being said, we shouldn't name all the fish, right?
Go for it.
Um,
Yeah, we don't want to be here forever with every type of fish you could think of. So you've killed fish with clownfish.
All right, Aaron.
I'm thinking a dolphin.
Ooh,
Oh.
I was you were right up to the clock on that one.
A manta ray.
Ooh. I will say a sea lion.
A seal.
A green sea turtle.
Oh. Barracuda.
Do we say octopus?
I
Yes.
Mm, I believe I'm gonna pass.
did. Okay.
Seahorse.
Ooh, good
Damn
one.
it.
Good one. What about a clam?
I said that.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't remember that. What about? I guess mussel would be out of the question.
I don't know. That's up to y'all.
I'll pick a different one.
So fish, sharks, and bivalves have been eliminated.
Okay. Um, ooh, I guess I'm passing. Nothing's coming to mind. And two, I feel
Crab.
like too much time has passed. Oh, good one, good one, good one.
Lobster.
Okay, Lyle takes another win. We'll do one more. Start with you, Lyle. Your category is candy bars.
Oh, Lord. Heck. Twix.
Snickers.
Mars bar.
Payday.
Three Musketeers.
Milky Way.
Baby Ruth.
100 grand.
Oh, whatchamacallit.
Kit Kat.
Don't lay a finger on my butterfinger.
A zero bar.
Why are you so dramatic?
Because this is my category.
Okay, Almond Joy.
Okay, mounds.
Wow. Wow, Uh, I mean, I thought it was my category. A Reese's.
Mm-hmm.
Hershey's.
Oh, you stole mine.
Good.
Um, you said Milky Way? I don't
I
think
don't
so.
know.
Milky Way. I love Milky
World's greatest chocolate.
Way. Okay.
A Crunch Bar.
Oh, Mr. Good Bar.
A sugar daddy.
Is that a candy bar?
Fine. You know what? Fine. If you don't want it to be a candy bar,
I don't know that it is. I'm
I
asking,
mean,
really.
it's on a stick, but it's caramel that'll break your teeth. All right.
Okay.
I'll name something else.
Okay.
You give me a second, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. um,
Uh,
I'm
consult
I'm
the ghost that came home with you from that creepy house.
um, dang.
And the sweet tooth is dead.
That means she's out.
I think so.
Did you say a crunch bar?
Yes, I
Lyle
did.
did.
Okay, hold up. It hasn't been a minute. Okay. Um,
Mm-mm.
Womp, womp, womp.
Nice try.
Yeah, I know.
Crap, how did I do that?
You bet not be Googling.
I'm not. Oh gosh. No, I had something, but I forgot it. No, I don't. I didn't. A Nutter Butter.
Oh, did we say payday?
You said payday.
Oh, I did? I don't remember
Yes.
that. Okay. Um,
I think so. I'll feel
I,
bad because you can like go back and listen.
I could. I literally don't remember. Um,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I'm thinking about some chocolates. Oh man. I got nothing. I got nothing.
Ain't no way I won that category.
All right, Lyle, you're the king of the king of.
I
Good
am the
job.
king of everything.
Well,
All of you.
last thing we needed is for Lyle to win all of these.
All of you
whatever.
lessers, bow down to the king. The king of kings.
Thanks to Suzanne for the game suggestion. Go check out the King
Yeah,
of
thanks. Thanks
if
for
you
the
guys want to
victories.
play. All right. Well, let's get into some non-conspiracy theory. So last week we talked about why is E not a letter grade that you can get in school, and we said this podcast we would explain the real answer. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So who looked it up? Someone did. Was it Aaron?
I looked it up.
Yes. Please share with everyone the answer.
You guys, how in the world was I the closest? But they used to actually have the letter E. I think they used it for like a year or something, but people were getting confused thinking that E stood for excellent. So they removed E because they want everybody to know they failed. That's it. It's literally that simple.
Turns out Aaron was the closest to the real answer for that non-conspiracy theory. So Aaron came up with the non-conspiracy theory we're going to talk about today, and that is why do prisoners wear either orange or stripes, like black and white stripes,
Or a combination of the two.
or a combination of the two? What's the reason? Who would like to go first?
All right. Why do prisoners wear orange or stripes? A wonderful question for the modern age. Now, see, you might think that prisoners wear orange so they're easy to identify if they get away and a manhunt is on.
Mhm.
However, in actuality, well, it does serve a similar purpose. See, most prisons are located in rural areas. So, when prisoners were getting out, they often ran off into the nearby woods in order to try to hide and find something to eat or shelter. But unfortunately, these same woods, outside of the exclusion zone, of course, are often hunted in for deer.
The
And as we,
exclusion zone?
yeah, it's like the area around a prison where people aren't allowed to go.
Oh, okay.
As we all know, though, deer hunters usually wear orange rather than camouflage so that
Oh,
they
yeah?
aren't mistakenly shot by fellow hunters. So before prisoners wore orange, a few too many escaped convicts were getting shot, which of course led to some wrongful death lawsuits, which we both know both the state and corporate hate. And therefore, orange was adopted for any time the prisoners would be out and about of the prison.
Wow.
As for the stripes, well, obviously, horizontal stripes are fattening, and therefore they serve the dual purpose of shaming some prisoners as well as hiding malnutrition in others, which
Oh.
again, we know corporate is there for the profits and not the care and rehabilitation. So
Oh
that
my
is
Wow.
why they wear stripes and orange.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I hate this bitch.
Interesting.
Look,
Because, like, he's so good at this, and it wasn't even his idea.
I know the deep truth of the earth.
You do know the deep truth. Okay.
Well, Let's see what Aaron has to say about that.
Okay. All right. Here's mine. Always the most practical in her non-conspiracy theories, but orange, because when they're walking through the cells at night,
Mm.
making sure everybody is where they're supposed to be, they don't have to really look. They can just like use their peripheral vision and they know orange is in there because everything's so gray.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Now, the stripes, they're horizontal stripes, as Mr. Lyall has said. That is for, again, so they can be easily seen from a distance because
Mm-hmm.
most of the cell bars are up and down. These would be perpendicular. They can easily see them. And if they're running through the woods, instead of trees being, well, with the trees that are vertical,
Oh.
they can
Mm.
see the stripes running through the woods that are
Oh,
horizontal.
okay. Interesting.
And when it's a mixture of the two, it's because those are the richest people in the prison. They they work the hardest, they steal money from the other prisoners, and they got the most money in their what's the account called, Lyle?
What? Commissary?
Commissary account. So they buy both outfits, and some days they wear orange on top and stripes on bottom.
Wow, Aaron. Okay. Very interesting. I spent some time thinking about this, you guys, and I really, really think I've come to the true answer of why. So, the tradition of prisoners wearing black and white stripes, this really dates back to like the early 1800s when it was believed that these colors, black and white, actually had a psychological effect on the inmates. See,
Hmm.
black and white stripes were thought at the time to be sort of disorienting, and it would make it more challenging for prisoners to work together and try to coordinate escapes. And also, these colors served as a reminder to the inmates of their confinement, i.e., bars and whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
To discourage them from engaging in any further criminal activity because you're going to be behind bars again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So over time, many modern prison facilities have since moved away from this tradition of black and white stripes in favor of more practical, standardized uniform like the popular orange ones that we see today. And why orange? Well, orange was simply chosen because it's a bright color and it stands out easily in prison yards and in cells, like you said. And that, my friends, I think is the real answer of why prisoners wear stripes in orange.
Now, I would like to say one thing. The only research I did was I Googled prisoner uniform to look at the pictures.
So did I. You know what I wanted to know?
Why the costumes always come with a hat?
No. I wanted to know if the stripes were traditionally horizontal or vertical.
No, vertical is Beetlejuice. Oh my God, you know this.
Well, no, literally, there are some images that were coming up where they were vertical.
Jack Skellington.
Yeah.
Were the vertical stripes on hot ladies in sultry Halloween costumes because vertical stripes are slimming?
No, it was some old pictures, but by and large, the stripes were horizontal.
Okay.
See, I've never been arrested or in jail, so I don't know these things.
Okay, so I don't know anything, and in fact, I had the vague orange and hunter thing idea beforehand,
Yeah.
but I just kind of made all this up this evening and kind of sketched it out. But what I do know, maybe, I don't know that this is 100% true or not, but I think it is. I learned from Orange is the New Black, which is in the minimum security prison, they would wear orange, I think, when they first came in and then switch to like blue or brown.
Oh,
And
okay.
then in the maximum security prison, they had different colors based on which cell block they were in.
Got
So
you.
they
Orange is
would
the New Black is a TV show, by the way, for those of you who don't know.
on Netflix. It's about a woman who gets arrested and goes to prison and is like goes from her yuppie whole grain lifestyle to a prisoner.
Okay.
It's good. It's good show.
I've never seen it. Well, once again, I cannot wait to hear the real answer of
For
why.
the reason. I think the
Why they
orange
landed.
is got to be
I feel
so
so
easier to
too.
find because they
Yeah.
don't wear orange in the prison. They wear it when they're out like cleaning.
They don't?
I don't think so.
I thought they did.
I thought that was just what they wore.
Yeah, like their orange scrubs were their typical clothes.
Well, we'll find out.
But also, I just want to say, before you move forward, I ain't never seen a prisoner wearing a hat. Every costume comes with a hat.
What about Cool
Oh.
Hand Luke? What about Cool Hand Luke?
I was gonna ask where you going with this.
I don't think so.
The costumes come with like a do-rag, basically.
Oh,
I don't think Cool Hand Luke had a hat.
Ask your dad.
I'm gonna look it up. I don't think so. No hat.
Okay.
Just a nice looking man
oh my gosh.
laying down, smoking his cigarette, eating his eggs.
Good,
Oh,
goodness
Paul Newman.
gracious. Hey guys, did you know that it's time for Did You Know?
I did not know that till just now.
I knew that it was time, but I don't know if I know what you're going to tell me.
This episode's Did You Know is coming to you by yours truly. Did you know what the smallest mammal in the world is?
Ooh.
Do you want to venture a guess before I tell you?
I do.
I was shocked.
A ferret.
Okay, Lyall, you have a guess?
Yeah, it's me at the end of this diet.
Ha
Ooh.
ha! But
Okay,
Nah,
go
you
ahead.
about to get jacked.
That's right.
the smallest mammal in the world is actually the bumblebee bat,
What?
also known as
That's a fake name.
Kitty's hog-nosed bat.
That's a real fake name.
This bat weighs only 0.05 ounces.
It's like as big as those green tree frogs.
Oh my
Did
god.
you Google
it's
it?
So
You Googled
cute.
it? It has a wingspan of only 5.5 inches. And if you wanted to see this tiny little bat for yourself, other than Googling it in person, you would have to go and visit one of only a few select limestone caves in the Koh Noi River in southwest Thailand.
Wow.
The bumblebee bat.
That's pretty good. Nope, I'm not going over there.
Yeah, super tiny. Go Google a picture of the bumblebee bat if you want to see.
It is very cute. It like the second picture on my Google, it looks like a little green tree frog sitting on somebody's finger.
That's right. I saw that picture.
You know what? If it was like, hey, I'm gonna suck your blood, I'd be like, you know what, Bumblebee Bat?
You go
You're
ahead.
so damn cute. Here's my neck.
Let me eat this zero bar first for you.
Yeah. Let me get in some good tasting things before you do that. But otherwise, you good. You do you.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. Well, moving on to the last segment, we're going to talk about our top 3 list. Top 3 places that you visited.
You are going to hate me.
Oh my God. Erin cannot, for the life of her, pick a
She's-
top 3 list.
She's miserable at
I
this
mean, she
game.
refuses to follow rules. So I apologize for the 11 things she's going to rattle off to you guys.
Unbelievable.
Lyall and I will, however, follow the rules and give you our top 3 places that we
That's
visited.
right. That's
Okay,
right.
guarantee y'all both have an honorable mention.
I don't.
I do, but I won't mention it. Right. Just to spite you.
But you know what? You do you. You do you.
She's going to. Oh man, I actually have 2 honorable mentions now that I think about it.
Oh,
I'm
good
not.
God.
I'm gonna save some because I think
Some?
I read this back later. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's got like a lot, I think.
I don't want to hear about all the places you've been. I want to hear about your top 3 favorite.
listen, I feel like we could do another top 3 list that's like top 3 experiences.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, number 3. Pennsylvania.
Never been.
A weird answer, I'm sure, but I have a story for you. My granny, my dad's mom, had 2 sisters, and they were all from Buras, Louisiana, which is about as swampy country as you can get. Somehow, both of her sisters met 2 men who were in the military during World War II, married them, then moved back to their respective homes, which were roughly 20 minutes apart in Pennsylvania, just by pure happenstance. So every summer, my grandparents would drive up from our home in deep South Louisiana up there, and I went probably every summer, at least from when I could remember until like my early to mid teen.
Like from Louisiana?
We would wake up like before daylight, leave somewhere between 5 and 6 a.m., drive some amount of distance, stop for breakfast, stop for lunch, stop for gas and bathroom breaks, and we would stop at 6 p.m. every time at a hotel, usually one with a pool. And we would go to the pool, we would shower, we would go to sleep, and we would wake up and leave. We'd eat breakfast at the hotel, so probably like 6:30 to 7, and then hit the road again. And we would drive on up and get to Pennsylvania probably about 8 the following night.
Wow.
And we would do that every summer, and we would stay for 2 weeks, usually 2.5 weeks, and then we would come back. It's about 2 days up, 2 days back. And I did it, like I said, from when I could remember, maybe even younger than that, until like my early to mid teens, probably. And I wouldn't say that Pennsylvania has anything that especially makes like it's not like, oh, Pennsylvania is awesome because of Pennsylvania, but it's so different from where I'm from. And I have so many great memories from there that I just can't not mention it. So here's just just a stream of consciousness stuff that I wrote down. I learned to play Magic the Gathering there. One of my great uncles had an apple tree and would pay us a penny for each apple we picked up. There were deer out in the mornings munching on the apples. We would catch fireflies in jars at night. I heard Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls on TRL for the first time there. There were hills and mountains to see and ride wagons or skates or bikes down. It's if you don't know, we're from South Louisiana. It's flat.
Yeah, we ain't got no hills. We got potholes.
Right. I saw my first Halloween movie, I think 4 there, and Pumpkinhead, which is also a horror movie.
Wait, how did you learn to play Magic? Was this like somebody taught
And
you?
my cousin played.
Oh, okay.
It's like my dad's cousin's kid, my second or third cousin, whatever, but it's just my
Got
cousin.
it.
So he taught me and my older cousin Jacob, and that is where I learned how to play Magic, probably around 1995 or 96.
And you were how old?
I would have been 8 or 9.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I
Okay.
have played ever since, pretty
Yeah.
much. We used to play an online game called Acrophobia. Does anyone know what that is?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
So it was like all text based, and it was basically you would go into a room online,
Mhm.
and it would give you an acronym, and you had to make up what the letters stood for, and you would submit answers, and then the people in the room would vote on which one they liked the best or thought was the funniest. And I just always remember that game. I heard my first Adam Sandler skits there, like Goat Boy and stuff like that, as well as my first George Carlin stand up. And then on top of
I
all of
don't think
that,
Goat Boy is Adam Sandler.
is it not?
Mm-mm.
What about the lunch lady?
The lunch lady is Adam Sandler.
Okay, well, that for sure. Anyway, and on top of that, the road trip. I'll always love a nice road trip where you get to stop at the various roadside attractions, caves, shops, eating at a great many Cracker Barrels, and always getting a hotel with a pool. So basically, just the trip and the memories from Pennsylvania is what has to put it on my list for me.
I
Hey.
just a little side note, Goat Boy is Jim Brewer.
Okay, I don't even know who that is.
He played in that movie, the How High, maybe?
Okay, I'll take your
Anyway.
word for it. My number 2 on my list is going to be New Zealand and Australia. I cheated and combined these because it was a joint trip when I was a senior in high school. We went for 1 week to New Zealand, 1 week to Australia, and then 1 week back in New Zealand. And the reason we went, my mom and I went, was because she had a friend who had moved over there a couple years earlier, and she had been wanting to go. So over the Christmas break, we went for 3 weeks. And again, it was and it's gorgeous everywhere, both places, and there's so much to see and do. The Lord of the Rings existed, the movies existed when we went, so we got to see like some like landscapes and stuff that looked like the movies, but they didn't have like the park or attraction that like they have now.
Wait, there's a Lord of the Rings park in
Oh
Australia?
yeah, there's like hobbit houses you can go into now and stuff like that, and just
Oh,
go
I
hang
don't think
out.
I knew that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, my mom's going soon, that bitch. Um, there's lots of cool things to see and do. I got to eat kangaroo steak. I got to see but not enter the Sydney Opera House. We went to the Sydney Zoo and I chose not to hold a koala because have you seen those claws? Also, they apparently all have chlamydia. So I didn't know that then, but I know that now.
Ew.
I wanted to box a kangaroo, but I did not. And finally, we went to a beach in Australia. There were shark nets out from the beach, so my mom was fine with me swimming. So my invincible high school brain was like, yeah, sure, I'll swim, no problem. But as a side note, I didn't know. I don't know if all beaches in Australia are like this, but that one was topless.
How fun.
Quite the shock for little 17-year-old Lyall, I gotta say. Thankfully, the people I went with did not partake, but I just had to be sure to include this fact.
Awkward.
And then my number one place that I have visited was Alaska.
Never been there either.
Now, my Nana, which is my mom's mom, lived there for a while, and we went to visit her when I was a sophomore in high school. We went in June, so it was summertime for them. It was a very beautiful. They had a heat wave going on, so it was like the mid 70s. And it was raining a lot. They were like, "Oh, it never rains this hard," which we would call a mist and not even classified as rain, basically.
Oh,
There's a lot of interesting culture to see. Obviously, it's gorgeous everywhere. I saw my first ever in-person snow. We didn't even get a decent start on how much stuff there was to see and do, although we did fly up onto a glacier and get out and walk around on the glacier in the snow and stuff. It was daytime for roughly 20 to 22 hours a day when we went. The night was basically like a twilight where the sun dipped behind the mountains for a couple hours, and we went salmon fishing in the rivers as they were going upstream. And that was, I think we started at like 10 p.m. It was just, full daylight. And then also moose are way bigger than you think they are, because the one just wandered across my Nana's property and I was like, oh my God, I want to go to that. And they're like, no, you'll die. But it's like much larger than a horse. So that's my top 3 places. And I do have some honorable mentions that I will not mention.
Great. I haven't been to any of those places. I'm especially jealous of your Australia, New Zealand trip. I'd love to visit that at some point in my life.
If you buy tickets far enough in advance, probably not that bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, your turn.
Well, I'll go next, and I am going to do one honorable mention.
Okay.
And then a list of a top 7.
Let's hear it. I can't wait.
And mine is like less vacation, more actual places.
Okay.
Think you're better than me?
Yeah, I do. Always. Honorable mention, Astroworld.
Okay.
In Houston, Texas. We used to go every summer as a kid. Almost every summer. That's where I found my love of roller coasters, but not without being like terribly afraid of them. And I remember this ride called the Judge of Drop, which was like one of those needles that you went up very slowly and then you could see all of Houston, and then all of a sudden it dropped you down to the floor. And there was another ride called the Accelerate. And my mom doesn't like rides, so this particular year that we went, she did not even come to Ashworld with us. My brother brought a friend. So I made them all ride this Accelerate ride with me, and it was a very easy ride, like, it was for kids. And because of that, my dad made me ride the Dungeon Drop. And I was so scared. And I did it. They said you couldn't scream on the way down, like, you just couldn't do it, and I freaking did it the entire way down. I scrimped. Okay, so that was my honorable mention.
I have a quick question for you.
What's that?
Did you remember the names of those rides or did you have to look them up?
I remembered them.
Wow, that's impressive. I don't remember anything like that.
Batman the Ride, Accelerate. Dang, I forget the name of the big wooden coaster they had.
Listen, I don't need an itemized list.
Okay,
I was
alright.
just checking.
Number 3.
Number 3.
3A.
No. Number 3, I'm gonna go with Great Wolf Lodge.
Okay, tell everybody where that's at and what that is.
We went to Great Wolf Lodge in Grapevine, Texas, which is near Dallas. Um, I know it's near Dallas because we had to go to the Lego store in Dallas because the one in Grapevine wouldn't take our cards. Anyway, so Great Wolf Lodge is like an indoor water park. But what makes great and I would just wanna say, like, I was 1,000 months pregnant with Claire whenever we went, so I couldn't even enjoy it to its capacity, but I still had a good time. I just had to rest more. We were able to do this with we wanted to do, like, a family of 4 trip for the kids, so we went in January of last year. It was cold walking in, and we were in bathing suits the whole time. They keep the little water park area at, like, 80 degrees or something like that, maybe 82, and it has maybe, like, 3 big slides. It has a big area for kids, like, it's what would you call that? Like a treehouse sort of thing that they
Oh,
can slide down and
yeah, it's like the places where they have all the like not a wading pool because it wasn't really a pool, but it's like a wading pool. It's
it's
got like
like the
all the
thing where the bucket fills up over, like, the course of 10 minutes, and then it dumps out and pours a bunch of water on it, and if you're not holding your bathing suit, it'll make your bathing suit come off, and they had, like, a toddler area for, like, little kids.
Now, how were the crowds when you guys went in January?
It was pretty packed, honestly.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and I think it's probably their busy season, if I had to guess, because everyone, like I would imagine their slow season would be during the summer, just because everybody's outside doing these things, but I don't know that. I can't know that. We went in January because the last week of December was triple the price.
Wow.
Anyway, so in addition to the water park that's open from, like, 8 a.m. until, like, 8 p.m., there's a couple of restaurants which are super expensive. We honestly brought, like, picnic stuff and sandwich stuff, and we ate in our room a lot. There is this I think it's called MagiQuest, where the kids can go and get this wand that they you buy, and you go on this quest, and this quest sends you to all areas of the hotel, and you go up the elevator, down the elevator, around on the floors, and you can, like, wave your wand at things and it'll talk to you, and you go in steps until you find what are you looking for, Lyle?
what do you mean?
Like, what's the end goal you're looking for just to finish the quest?
Yeah, there was two different quests, and I can't remember what exactly. I'm trying to remember if we even finished the thing because it was long and there was a
We
lot of stuff to
y'all
do.
y'all didn't, and that's the thing, like, they said that, um, you can pick up where you left off whenever you go back as long as you have your wand, I think.
Well, that's a cool little thing they do.
It was
Yeah.
super fun. It was exhausting because like I was old running up and down stairs. Like it's cold outside, so you have to dress warm, but you're running up and down like the fire escape stairs basically because there's stuff on all different floors of this. How many floors? 7, 8?
Yeah.
Hotel, and you have to go up and down, and they give you hints of where things are, and some things are in the main hallway, so you can get off the elevator and go get them, and some things are in the stairwell, so you just have to be in the stairwell. So there's a lot of steps. I exhausted both of our children and myself.
And me, and so, like, there was a couple of times where I was like, "Simon, do you wanna go lay down in the room?" And he's like, "Yes." So, that's our kid that appreciates his sleep. Um, anyway, yeah, so there's that, and inside that we bought something called, I think, the Wolf Pass for them. It was like $90 or something, and there was Build-A-Bear, an arcade, a rock mining place, a ropes course. What do you call those things? Is it a ropes?
Ropes course.
A ropes course, Dippin' Dots. What else was included in that? I think that's pretty much covers it. Oh, and the quest.
Yeah, you got like the basic. You got a basic wand,
Yeah,
but you can buy upgrades for the wand or fancier wands. There, you still have to pay.
yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I would recommend it to anybody that has I would say you can have fun with older kids, but I would say probably teenage, like preteen and under, for the quest thing. Unless you're gonna send them off. I think like older kids could have fun on their own doing that.
I think they would because you get to wander the hotel and people watch and look at cute girls
Yeah.
and cute boys, and
Yeah, that's
there's a
true.
lot of stuff to do, and it's all a pretty well contained place, so you can kind of let them wander a bit, especially in a group.
Okay. My number 2. Universal Studios. Not Universal Studios. Is it Universal?
I don't know. Go on.
Universal Orlando Resort. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
I've heard a lot of good things about that place.
Specifically that. Universal overall is cool, but I'm talking specifically about the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Um, basically in Orlando, there's 2 parks. There's one that's called Universal Studios. There's one that's called Universal Islands of Adventure. And in each park, there's one. In Universal Studios, there's Diagon Alley. Am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the Islands of Adventure, it's Hogsmeade, and connecting the 2 is the Hogwarts Express. So you ride a train from one to the other. It is like being in the movie. That's the best way I can explain it.
Very immersive experience.
Yes. I wish we would have had more time because you could honestly spend an entire day going back and forth between the 2 places.
Cool.
My only complaint about it was we went in, was it August?
September.
September? Well, it was still hot, and Hogsmeade is all done up with like fake snow and stuff, but that's disconcerting when it's 96 degrees.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's Florida.
Right.
Okay. So, my number 1 place is a place we've been on quite a few cruises, but we planned a cruise. I was stressed at work. Lyall was kind of stressed at work. We were trying to have a kid. That wasn't working out. And I was just like, "Hey, do you have any vacation days?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, we're going on a cruise in 3 weeks." Um,
Right, so by planned, she means did not at all plan.
yeah.
Spur of the moment decided to go.
Yeah. But that's not even the place I'm talking about. It was on this cruise we went one of the excursions we chose to do, and by choose, this was one of the things that was left available by the time we went to go book our excursions on the cruise. So it was like a last minute decision. We wanted to do something, but there wasn't a lot of options left. We wanted to book through the cruise ship so that they wouldn't leave us. Anyway, it is a place called Rio Secreto, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's Riosecreto. Um, it is an underwater cave
This is Mexico, I'm assuming.
in Mexico, yeah, and
Okay.
we were in Cozumel, but we rode a pretty
Bus
long, um
bus ride.
no, it wasn't a bus ride, it was a boat ride, like a ferry ride
Uh,
to, like, the little island that's over there.
the water bus.
Yeah.
It's safe.
Anyway, it's an underwater cave. It's only underwater for special
During the rainy
months.
season.
Yeah, like special like certain months of the year. I don't I don't know. It's hard to explain that experience.
It has water at all times, but it is during the rainy season it is flooded and inaccessible. But when we went into it, it was you were like wading through water for most of it and swimming in some part.
Yeah, like there was some parts of it where you could not touch the cave floor, and you're just, like, floating in a dark cave, and the only lights you have are the headlamps that are on your head.
Hard hats with headlamps.
Yeah.
And you had to put on a wetsuit.
Mhm. And we had to, like, we had to take, like, showers right before we went in, and really we just rinsed ourselves off with, like, the water that they use over there,
Hmm.
because the waters are all, like, protected and fresh, and they don't wanna
Yeah.
mess anything up with chemicals for the animals that rely on it. But there was some parts of the cave where you had to literally to go to the next part, you had to go underwater to
Mm.
get to it. Now, it wasn't like you went underwater a lot or anything, but at one point, they told us to turn off our headlamps, and it was pitch black, like, you could not
Oh,
see anything.
are you seeing anything under the water? Like, are there fish and things swimming underneath you?
There were some, but it's not like it was a bunch or anything.
Okay.
There were bats in there, we saw some bats.
Oh, okay.
Um, I don't know, this was just, like, one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had, like, one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life, and when we came out of the cave, the lady that kinda took us on a tour told us that it was, like, customary when you come out of a cave to do a tequila shot, and also I guess the Mayans looked at coming out of a cave as you were, like, leaving all of your problems behind in that cave, and it
Okay.
just really spoke to me at that moment in my life because I felt like the reason why we planned that cruise was because of the problems we were kinda having at that time,
Mm.
and we ended up by chance at this place swimming in an underwater cave, and, like, I will never not think about it. It's was such a great experience. I loved every second of it.
Very nice.
It was really amazing. It is the top item on my non-mentionables list.
I will recommend this to any person going on a cruise that goes to Cozumel.
Agreed. Also, I want to just chime in with one more little factoid, which is I don't drink. I do not drink ever. I have never drank. I did not drink at our wedding. We had like sparkling apple cider for our toasts and things like that. I have probably had, definitely, I've had two alcoholic beverages in my life, and for sure less than five. One of them was the tequila shot after the cave because I was like, well, shit, I have. They like gave it to me, and I was like in my hand. I'm like, well, fuck, I gotta have to do it, I guess. So that's one of the two alcoholic drinks I've had in my whole life that I can remember that I know of.
All the other times you
Yeah.
were so wasted you don't even remember.
Yep, just blacked out. That's why I don't drink.
Cool. Well, that was good. I've heard you talk about that trip before, but I don't think I've ever heard you talk about it that level of detail. So that was good.
Yeah, if you guys get the chance, you should definitely look it up to just see pictures of it, and it's Playa del Carmen, which is where it's at.
Ah, gotcha. All right. Well, okay. Top three places I've visited. Number
Well,
three.
you guys, I think we should end there, so
All right. Thanks for listening. And number three on my list is Las Vegas.
Oh my god.
That's on her three least favorite places,
I
she
know
said.
it is. I really like Vegas. I like the gambling, the
Mhm.
shows, the food, the gambling, the sightseeing, the gambling.
I'm going to be that annoying co-host and interrupt you a bunch on this, but I have questions. So,
Okay.
have you been any other times other than when you went with us?
Yes.
Okay. When you went with us, did we go see any shows together?
don't think we did because I wasn't there long enough.
Right, you were only
And
there for the weekend. Oh, and I was playing Magic.
yes, so
Yeah.
me and Aaron sort of just kind of ran around during the
You
day.
gambled and she watched.
Sort of.
No, we
She
both
lost.
gambled. He won and I lost.
Right.
My Las Vegas money for a week was gone in like 30 minutes.
I've been 2 other times
Okay.
with 2 different groups of people, and I've seen a couple of shows. Um,
I only know about the one group. Who did you go with?
I went with Leslie and Chris once, and then I
Uh-huh.
went with Renee and them, with Sadie
Oh,
and
okay.
Wesley came along. Yep. I brought my aunt to see Celine because she loves Celine Dion. I had won some money on a slot machine, and so I was like, "Look,
Shocking.
we're gonna send your husband and the kids to go see another show, and I'm gonna bring you to go see Celine because the tickets were kind of expensive." But I spent my winnings and I got her tickets, and we saw her at Caesar's Palace. And then when I went with Chris and Leslie, her mother-in-law got free tickets to a Jennifer Lopez show.
Oh,
So we went to see Jennifer Lopez at the Planet Hollywood. Anyway, I like Vegas. I like to gamble. It's really fun. I like seeing all the different casinos and the shows. And like I said, there's always something cool to see, cool place to go eat or whatever. It's just fun.
I have 2 things to say about Vegas. Advice.
Go for it.
1, don't bother riding in the gondola
At the Venetian.
at the Venetian. And if
This
you're
is
gonna
true.
do it inside.
Yeah.
They literally sing to you, and I was so embarrassed. I'm
I've
just, like,
never done that.
riding on the gondola, this dude singing to me. I don't know, Lyall and I are supposed to be making out or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I went for a Magic the Gathering tournament, and I was like, "You should come with me, and we'll make like a vacation out of it." And then Aaron was like, "Well, Toby, you should come for at least the weekend that he's going to be playing Magic because he's going to be busy all day those like 3 days."
Hmm.
And Toby was like, "Yeah, sure, for sure." But this was in June, so yeah, we rode
Yes.
the gondola outside, and it was 113 degrees, which is
Hmm.
not that bad. Like where we live, it's so much humidity that 90 degrees you're dying. And I really like the 113, you dry out quickly. Obviously, you need water and chapstick and stuff. But like as
Yeah.
far as like sweating and feeling gross in my clothes and not being able to breathe, I didn't find it was that bad.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also on that trip. So I flew out to Vegas to meet them, and I was staying with them in their hotel room that they had booked for the week. Their flight got delayed,
mm-hmm,
and you guys could not make it to Vegas the night that I got there to
mm-hmm.
check in to this hotel. So there was a
Our
period
name.
because it was under your name, and there was a period of time when I had landed, and I literally had no idea what I was about to do because I didn't think they would let me check into that room because I didn't book it, and I didn't think they'd let Aaron or Lyall remotely check in without being there. But thankfully, I think Aaron made a bunch of calls, and they were able to let me check in for them.
Yep.
Number 2 favorite place I visited is New York City. I took a trip to New York City with some family. It was like 5 of us who went. There were no kids, some teenagers and some parents of those
Sadie and
teenagers and
Wesley.
myself. Yep. Shout out Sadie. I know she listens. We ended up spending like 4 full days there. We planned this trip well in advance. I planned it kind of to the T because I wanted to just see as much as I possibly could. So we ended up buying the New York Pass, it was called at the time. They probably still have it, which is just like a little card you buy, and it gets you access to the most popular attractions in the area for one price. Um, so using that pass and all the things I knew we would get into, I planned the 4 days out, like I said, to the T. And I'm going to just run through in 4 days kind of a list of the things that I got to see while we were there. We did see 2 shows I saw 2 shows while we were there. They saw one show, which I saw with them, which was Jersey Boys on Broadway. And then I went by myself, like that following night, and I saw the show Finding Neverland. And I think to this day, is probably one of my top two favorite shows I've ever seen. Great show.
Nice.
Okay, so yeah, I got to see Grand Central Terminal. Of course, the Empire State Building. We did a sunset viewing on the Empire State Building. We went to the Today Show, filming of the Today Show. We got on TV in the background because you always see the people holding up their signs. We had to be there like 7 in the morning though, but we did it. Rockefeller Center, they call it Top of the Rock. There's an observation deck where there's these big glass walls. Cool. And Central Park. Central Park we went to. We rented bikes, did a bike ride all the way around Central Park. Well, around the main road that circles it. Took a while. My aunt was like hurting, but it was awesome. I love that so much. Of course, we did the One World Trade Center, took the elevator up to the top and toured that. We did Wall Street and toured that whole area, the Big Bronze Bowl. We took a water taxi over to Brooklyn. We didn't go across the bridge, but we were in, I think it's called Battery Park or something, around the foot of the bridge. We did St. Peter's Cathedral. We did a tour of Radio City Music Hall. We went to explore that area called the High Line, which is like this raised, I think it's like a raised subway, old raised subway railway that they converted into just this brick slashed, they let plants overgrow in the area, and you just kind of walk through. People walk it every day back and forth to work and where they live. And that was cool. And then, of course, food. Like we did the New York pizza and ate at a bunch of different places while we were out there.
Did you eat a street hot dog?
We ate street hot dogs. Yeah,
Hell
it was
yeah.
great. It was
Me
so
too.
good. We ate that a couple of times actually.
Mhm.
It was great. I loved my trip to New York. I wish I could have seen more shows while I was there at night, but we were only there for 4 days. We were burnt out by the end of the day because we jam packed as much as we possibly could. Like we were up in the morning, rolling, checking off the list. I want to go back. I've only been once. I would like to go back and kind of do a little bit of a lazier trip. See a couple of different things, not the main touristy things because I've already done that, but it was fun. I like the hustle and bustle of the big city. It's different from where I live every day, so it was fun to see.
That's one of my places I wanna go, like, really badly.
Yeah, I would love to do New York with you. I think that would be so fun.
Yeah, but the thing is, I would wanna see all the touristy stuff.
And I would go back. I would. I'm just saying, at some point, I would like to go and do that, a different kind of trip. I would totally
Yeah.
go again and see those things. They're so cool to see in person. Like, you see them in TVs and movies, but
Right, yeah.
being in person. I didn't say the Statue of Liberty, but we didn't go to Ellis Island, but we took a water taxi that goes literally right in front of it, and so we saw it right there in person.
That's cool.
Yeah, we did pretty much everything you can think of, all the main things.
I also have been to New York, but I only had a single day.
Why'd you go?
I was in marching band all through junior high and high school, and also my first 2 years of college. And my college marching band marched in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
Oh, cool.
So we went to march in the parade. So we went for 4 days, I think.
Okay.
But we had one free day to go explore New York. And they just we were college students, so you're an adult, quote unquote, but they literally just brought whatever 240 like 17 to 25-year-olds to New York and just unleashed us and just let us go. No, we didn't have no teachers, no chaperones, nobody to hang around with, nothing. You didn't have to stick in groups. You just went off and did your thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Nice. Okay, number one for me. My number one place would have to be my visit to Athens, Greece. I took a trip to Greece when I was in college. It was my last year of college, back in December of 2006.
Jeez.
I had a friend who had some family stationed out in Athens. They were in the military, and they had an apartment there. It was a couple, a family with 2 kids, and her and her cousin were planning to go, and they invited me to tag along if I wanted to. And I was like, man, I can't pass this up. Now, let me say, I kind of agonized about going for a bit because no one was going to be paying my way to go to this trip. So I had to come up with this money on my own and make sure that I was going to be able to come back from this trip and still, be able to do my day to day, whatever that was. Now, I
Right.
was living with my grandparents at the time, so it's not like I had rent or anything. And I was using a vehicle that they gave me, but and of course they fed me and all of that. But like, my everyday expenses, gas, all that stuff, my cell phone at the time was all my bills. So
Right.
I'm proud to say I was able to finance that trip and go on my own. So we went to Athens, Greece in December and got to these people's apartment. Super nice place, very close to downtown Athens area. This guy had written some hand notes for us about like how to navigate the area, how to find the tram system, some of the most commonly used Greek words you might need to use, because he was working and she was working. The kids were in daycare, and our time there, which was I think we spent a week. So we probably had like 4 days, 5 days. We were on our own, just the three of us. We were all pretty close in age. I was probably a year older than this friend of mine, and then her cousin was maybe a year younger than her. So anyway, we were just kind of roaming the Athens area on our own. We bought those tram tickets and we just learned the tram system and went explore. We saw things like the Olympic Stadium because Greece had hosted the Olympic Games in 2004. So we went check that out. That was really cool. Of course, we went to like the Acropolis and saw the Parthenon and all that stuff. And there's just something about being in that place, like the history, the gravity of the history and what went down there. And there's nothing like standing in front of it or inside of, because we went inside of a lot of these temples. It's just
Yeah.
kind of awe-inspiring. You can't really believe that, first of all, they made this and that it's still there.
Right.
And just the amount of time ago that was.
Now, did they live like in the area? I know, like, when I think Greece, I see like all the white buildings on the mountainside.
Yeah. So they lived more downtown. They lived in a very modern apartment complex. But
Okay.
we took a trip one day. We took a boat ride to this island called Idra. And as we were boarding the boat and leaving, that very common landscape that you're talking about, you absolutely see that on the coast of Greece.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's very, very much that.
And like, what kind of people live in it? Like, is that like the richer of the people or?
I can't say for sure. I will say a lot of those places looked very moderate, like nothing crazy, like they're not huge. But there are some places like that are right on the coast that, oh yeah, that's a mansion. Like that's expensive. Somebody got some money that's living there.
So the ones we see in pictures are like little villages, I guess,
Yeah,
basically.
correct. That was kind of what I got. Especially on this island we went to, it was very modest homes. Some of them were like no doors, no closed windows. It was just like an open little house, hut, whatever. Some of them in some areas.
Oh.
Yeah, it was hit or miss. Like I said, some of them were proper houses and some of them were kind of just little, I don't know, people live in that or if they just in and out of that during the day when they're working, forming. A lot of people doing forming and raising animals and that kind
Mhm.
of stuff. So, but on that island, we drove out to this island, super small island. We took a hike. It was a 1 hour hike to the top of this basically island, and there was an old Greek monastery. I had to look it up because I couldn't remember. Apparently, it dates back like to 1813, but it was abandoned. But we took this hike up there. There was no one else on the hike that day, no one else up there. We had the entire top of this mountain area to ourselves. You could, like, as far as you could see, just ocean, little islands, chains of islands out there. I think they call it Peloponnesia or something like that. It's kind of what the land masses we were looking at. But I've never seen anything like that. That was awesome. Really awesome to see. I have pictures um, that I was kind of going through earlier. I hadn't seen those in years with
Yeah.
my crappy little digital camera at the time.
Right. Which we're doing, like, twice as good pictures, if not more, with our phones.
I know, right? But anyway, Greece, that's my number one trip. I'm so glad I made the decision to go. So worth it. I would absolutely go back. And funny enough, my oldest godchild, who is actually my cousin, his name's Parker, he took a trip to Greece with his girlfriend through, I want to say they went through some program at Nichols, local college. And he saw a lot of the same things I saw, and they took pictures, and I was like, oh gosh, I remember that. So it's kind of cool to look at his pictures all these years later. He went to the same
Yeah,
place I went to.
that's awesome.
Yep, yep. That's it. That's my top three.
I had no idea you even went there.
Well, there you
Shows what
go.
I know. Fake friend.
Right. Okay, well, I think we've come to the end, you guys, of our.
Mhm.
This is what, episode 3 now?
Yeah.
Very good. All right, you made it to the end. Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you in about 2 weeks. Peace out.
Alright, later.
Goodbye.